Okay, so our post the other day about updating our sourcing standards generated a lot of questions, so let's answer them. Okay, first question. Are we trying to cut costs? No, not at all. None of our raw material costs have changed because of this. Our farmers' number one priority is still to keep their animals healthy, and that means they still have the same costs in place for providing quality food and a clean environment for all of their livestock, and that hasn't changed. So how is this different from conventional meat? Well, conventional livestock gets subtherapeutic antibiotics through their food and water on a regular basis to promote growth. And in our case, a vet has to determine the antibiotics and the medication are medically necessary. Okay, next, are your ingredients still human grade? Absolutely, yes. So using antibiotics doesn't change whether or not something is human grade. There just obviously can't be any residues in the food afterwards. So we're still sourcing USDA inspected human grade ingredients, and the requirement is that the animals go through a withdrawal period if they get treatment so that there's no residues that can affect your health or your pet's health. So why can't the farms do a separate conventional and a no antibiotics ever program? Well, this is more about ability than willingness. Having two separate programs means a lot more overhead and having to separate and move the animals, different packaging and labeling, separate production. Some proteins like duck and rabbit just don't have an overall large enough demand to justify this, and smaller mid-sized farmers have a harder time with this as well. Well, the antibiotics disrupt the livestock's gut microbiome and affect the nutritional quality of the food. So no, there's no antibiotics in the livestock system by the time it gets processed, so the gut microbiome has had a chance to recover. But more importantly, none of the GI contents where the microbiome actually lives is allowed to get into the raw materials, because that would actually be a bigger contamination issue. And you have to remember a very small percentage of the population actually ends up needing treatment, and it's always done under veterinary supervision.